its top priority in periodic leadership presidentship that choose the gathering as a main theme and an noble objective of the Arab Summit hosted in Algeria in the past February. Our country had pursued solely and loyalty and willingly to serve our project and our issues through the embodiment of the results of their leadership meetings of solid and insightful resolution that benefit the interests of the Arab nations and their peoples. Therefore, Algeria is very welcoming the features of such an orientation, that its features being existed by the consuming of the Arab Syrian country to take its seat, and the steps being taken to develop and strengthen the Syrian-Arab relations, and collaterally to contribute in solving the crisis in such a brotherly state, in addition to the surrounding turbulence between Turkey and Iran. In this such we welcome and the positive indicators in reaching a sustainable solution to the crisis in Yemen that would achieve the will aspiration of the Yemeni people to regain the sovereignty of its people as well as its stability. And we all, with having a goodwill of receiving such positive features as experiencing by the Arab nations, and that we all hope to be fostering in a shape of a fully integrated pan-Arab position, and to work in the future to contain and absorb the crisis within the Arab house instead of institutionalizing internally and externally. Your Excellencies, I had hoped to resume my speech in the same positive and optimistic tone when I go through the related developments of our internal central cause, which is the Palestinian cause. Despite what the Palestinian brothers suffers as the Israeli criminal aggressions against our brothers in the occupied Jerusalem and the Western Strip, as well as the besieged Gaza Strip, all as such are issues, even we are indeed required to double the effort to impose the respect of the Palestinian people rights, on top of which their right of establishing an independent country which is Eastern Jerusalem as its capital. We're very keen to put the Palestinian cause to be in our pan-Arab joint priorities, and our holding in the Arab Initiative in 2002 under the direct supervision of the President Mr. Tebboune, Algeria would pursue in a bid to achieve the Palestinian conciliation through the approaches of all the parties according to the enlisted resolution of Algeria Declaration in pursuit to achieve the national Palestinian unity that was adopted in Algeria on the correspondence of 13th of October 2022 by all the Palestinian facts. Furthermore, within the activating of the Algeria Summit, our country, with the collaboration and coordination with our Arab brothers, their pursuit to including the Palestinian states of gaining the international declaration as in obtaining the permanent membership in the United Nations. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, our deepest concern is lying down in the continuation of the political and security, the development in some Arab countries, and the emerge of the tourism hot pocket that would prevent the stability and prosperity in our nation. That in this framework, the great deteriorated development in our brotherly Sudan, in its security political repercussion, to be in a full deep concern for us. And before such a situation, the President Tebboune, as the periodical Arab Summit President, and in pursuit through the United Nations, African Union, and get to laying out a joint initiative would guarantee the ceasefire and the guarantee of a comprehensive political solutions, a process to solve the situation. Therefore, we are praising the exerted efforts by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the path of the ceasefire. Following their outputs, I reiterate our call in our brothers in Sudan for an immediate ceasefire for the military operations and in pursuit the preservation of the potentials and of the our citizens in order to end such a very dangerous crisis terminally. With regard to the crisis in Libya, I wish to reaffirm our solid conviction that the stability won't be achieved without an Libyan provision to go forward in organizing presidential and parliamentary elections to put an end the crisis permanently and to achieve the Libyan ambition in building a very modern democratic nation. And undoubtedly, in such level of importance and sensitivity would require reason and the responsibility before the state and taking to the interest of Libyan above the very narrowed interest. And we hope from our brothers in Lebanon, and we are deeply hope to coincide with the pursuit to put an end of the political blockage through the election of a president to the Republic and to be free of solving the dangerous political problems faced by our brotherly state. In a response to respond to the right of their people and live in prosperity and security. Your Royal Highness and Your Excellencies, our meeting today is a great an opportunity to affirm the necessity of escalating the path of the reform as well as fostering the joint Arab work in a response to the numerous challenges before us, and it is importantly to remind you that the Algeria summit that adopted a set of resolutions and propositions presented by His Excellency Mr. Said Tapour, the President of the Republic, in activating the role of the League of Arab States in a prevention of conflict and put the collateral dimension in our work and fostering the young innovation in our joint pan-Arab work. And we are in dire need of such reforms in guaranteeing the optimization of the economic potentials praised by the Almighty God in our nation in building a better future for all of us. Potentials, despite its diversity, do not guarantee but a very incentive environment in achieving the prosperation of our people, of a joint economic cooperation and a joint prosperity, as well as fostering the features of our bonds, in particular before the Arab nations that experiencing a very hard economic circumstances that require a collateral renaissance or uprising for all of us. In addition to the crisis in Somalia and Djibouti, such as the droughts that would require a very urgent measures in avoiding an imminent humanitarian crisis. There were some ideas that I had hoped to share with you in the beginning of such a session against the escalating development experience in our nation and upon the outputs of the two Arab summits in Algeria and in Jeddah. Before I conclude, I wish to extend to you of many thanks and gratitude of all support we've had from you during the periodic presidentship of Algeria that we hope that had a successful output in defending the causes of the Arab nation and its aspiration. Now allow me to summon my brother HRH Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Kingdom of Saudi Arab, to receive the presidency of the Council, hoping him full success into delivering the missions and expressing in such a context for our permanent support in the presidency of the Kingdom in convention of affirming the pillar of understanding and unity in serving our collective project, which is an excellent pan-Arab project, and thank you for listening, for your attention, and peace be upon you all. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, I announce the opening of the preparatory ministerial meeting to the 32nd ordinary session of the Arab League. Peace be upon the Prophet Muhammad and Your Royal Highness and Your Excellency Foreign Minister, Secretary General of the Arab League. It pleases me at the beginning to welcome you in your second homeland in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, hoping from the Almighty God to have a successful in our meeting. And I would also thank in Algeria and the efforts during its tenure in the previous period. I would like to seize the opportunity, the welcome the Syrian participation. Our world today is facing in a very dangerous circumstance that would require to be united and exert more effort to fostering the joint pan-Arab work in facing them, finding resolution to be our nations peaceful in security, enjoying peace and prosperity. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is fully aware of our challenges, would impose all of us to continue coordination and activating all the new mechanism, putting aside our biennial disagreement and putting the priorities of our peoples in order to achieve a comprehensive renaissance for our people. To conclude, the Kingdom is reiterating to look forward to work with you also in fostering the stability, to grouping our efforts to build a better future that the upcoming generation will endure. And I pray to the Almighty God to achieve its aspirations, and peace be upon you all. Now I call upon Mr. Ahmed Abul Ghait, Secretary General of the League of Arab States, to say his speech. Your Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan bin Abdullah Al Saud, Minister for the Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me in the outset to thank His Excellency Allah Tafif, the Foreign Minister of Algeria, and welcome him in his new member, and congratulate his tenure, wishing him all the best of luck, and also to extend the thanks to preside contrary to the works of the ordinary session of 2022 in Algeria that was successfully in excellence, considering its organization, resolution, and work. Also, I wish to extend my thanks to His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan for the hospitality and preparation exerted by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia since our arrival. Wishing all the best of luck to the proceedings of the summit, and I welcome in our council with Dr. Faisal al-Maqdad, Foreign Minister of the Syrian Arab Republic, the Arab Syrian Republic, and I wish that the gain in Syria succeeds as an introduction of ending its crisis and regaining its vitality and presence in the pan-Arab world. You good attendees, the Arab nations have passed into the Algeria summit in Algeria have passed tremendous developments that would require a pause before. We were lucky to have in two Arab summits to be held in this and two halves in such circumstances that can be described as a present and exceptional. Yet the world environment is still full of dangers and crises. Some of them were unique indicate its impact. Repercussions had exceeded to each spot in the whole world mostly, resulted in a very much concern and a collective state of uncertainty, such as the world in Ukraine that would have degraded the world security and put upon the shoulder of the several countries an extra expensive, whether in fostering security or gaining resources such as food and energy. I do believe that such conflicts present a very negative development, such as the emerging market that are in need of stability. Many Arabs are included, many Arab countries are included, despite then taking the stances in the era of polarization. We are in need to strongly hold our joint resolutions that were being done by the League of Arab States upon of Ukrainian work. And we are should work and talk as one stance that would give our stances weight and provide a very protective umbrella of our nations to the evils of polarization in light of the regional development. The picture in the Arab nations recently are mixture that carries some very assuring indicators going alongside with new dangers that pay a great concern. In Sudan, an armed conflict had been emerged. We've seen and noticed its dangers upon the people of Sudan that faced the dime and fleeing, and it's dangerous in the Sudanese country that affected its stability and the sound of its national entities. Sudan is a very important Arab nation, and the emergence of the popular conflict that hurt the hearts of the people, and we consider that Jeddah summit is a great opportunity in order to put an end of all the armed features. The first step to regain the calmness and the ceasefire and get back to the passive policy. And I say here that Arab people won't leave Sudan alone. We are offering all the possible support, and your council, honorable council, have formed a group of focal points in the 7th of this month, and we've seen a very great effort made by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia here in Jeddah. Yet the matter is provided in the outcome by the will of Sudanese people. It's the leadership to an end of such a deteriorated as soon as possible, despite crisis in Syria, Yemen, and Libya are existed without any comprehensive or endless ended settlement, yet facing a face of freezing that would pave the way of a new approachment in a number of such crises. And your honorable council made a resolution in the 7th of May around Syria that approved a comprehensive agreement and paved the way for a great effort of the Arab nation to fostering the settlement and the treatment of its repercussions affected Syria and its neighboring countries. Syria had a very unique civilized contribution in this region throughout history. It's a founded country in this league, and we all look forward in a very constructive and effective engagement along with such a pan-Arab movement and fostering its presence and participation. Your Royal Highness, Mr. President, we are feeling some positive stances in the neighboring countries and their role with the Arab nations. I talk about Iran and Turkey specifically, and it is well notably what the Arab nations have suffered and still from the negative repercussions of the interference in their internal affairs. We are pursuing relations based on the principle of sovereignty and the non-interference of the internal affairs of the countries. From this context, I re-welcome the agreement that had been reached between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Islamic Iranian Republic in China, and we look forward that such an agreement would represent a very decisive step in solving the disagreements and the regional conflict by diplomatic affairs, and to shape relations based on the dialogue and respecting the United Nations resolution. Mr. Chairman, the situation in the occupied land is about to explode, and we're all aware and know that the continuation of occupation and hindering the path of the putting an end in the conflict and the establishment of the state are the rooted causes of the suffering of the Palestinian people. But lately, a new factor had been an add-up as a representative of the hard right wing that led to the increase of the flow of violence in a very dangerous matter, and would protect the form to be more worse. And we reaffirm that the peaceful Arab initiatives is the only and solely the strategic choices to put an end of the occupation, and we held that the Israeli government the responsibility of the dangerous development in the situations, and as affirming its very extensive approach would doubtly reflect the Arab treatment according to the determinants of the Arab peaceful initiative. In this summit, despite being held in a very an atmosphere that is full of challenges, would predict if such a crisis to be increased, and we may have noticed is that the presence of Their Excellency, the foreign ministers, are mostly full. The Arabs people are paying the prices of the hindering of or rather the continuation of a crisis, and we look forward to be on the level of the Arab opinion, lifting the existing solution to provide an Arab solution of the Arab problems and fostering the strength of the regional force. And we are all praying Almighty God to support us in our path, and peace be upon you all. I thank His Excellency Mr. Secretary Arab Tribune and announce the conclusions of the meeting to complete in an enclosed session. Thank you.